Hi, welcome to the Fort Wayne Area Skinny from the Upstate Alliance of Realtors, where we dig into the most recent numbers from our market. Housing has been at mid-court in 2012, and the results of the jump ball have been favorable for buyers and sellers. For the first time since 2006, housing is on track to be a net positive contributor to GDP. After 6 long years with a losing record, it's about time for a positive outcome. Housing markets were once overburdened with distressed properties, excessive supply, and weak consumer demand. But a timeout was taken in 2012, and the market was able to rehydrate and breathe easier. At least that's been the national housing report, but we've fared much better locally. For the fourth quarter, we had 11.3% more pending sales in 2012 than 2011. For the year as a whole, we saw a nice even 10% increase in closed sales activity. In fact, sales volumes reached a 5-year high. Buyers purchased the largest number of properties since 2007. We're looking forward to next year's rematch. The median sales price of $107,700 was up a significant 13.4% for quarter four's game. For the entire year, the median price of $105,000 was up 8.2% compared to 2011. That's both the highest annual median price and the largest year-over-year increase on record going back to 2004. There are 3 drivers of price gains: less supply, more demand, and a recovering lender-mediated segment. When faced with inventory constraints, some consumers revised their game plan with a sense of urgency. Buyers ended the year with 2,909 homes from which to choose, or 7.6% fewer than last year. Switching teams, sellers also had 7.6% less competition. At 5.1 months supply of inventory, it's a trend that's already brought our region back into balance. We're even on the brink of an emerging seller's market, but strong affordability and low rates are still favoring the buying team. Speaking of which, those who did sell last quarter realized 91.8% of their list price on average. That's up from 91.5% a year ago. Given how common multiple offers have become, well-priced and well-presented listings are selling in less time for closer to list price. Together, these trends illustrate how the playing field for sellers is improving. Overall, 2012 was one of the first real recovery years for housing demand, even though prices have been mostly edging up for several years. Housing fans are still cheering for more jobs, as they should. An improving labor market has the potential to fuel new housing demand through new household formations. Washington must also do its part. There's still time for our representatives to be part of the solution. It'll take smart policy and tough compromises, but let's continue moving our great nation forward. That's the Fort Wayne Skinny for this quarter. Check back next quarter for the latest.